Hello. Now, I think we're back. Yes, Martha Stewart is now spelled properly. Properly. Correctly? No. It's spelled the way we spell it. It's spelled the way it's spelled. Currently. There we go. Alright. So this is powered by Llama 3. I made this in the Llama 3 available HuggingFace. And I'm going to do set the levels. I hope you've been having just as surreal a time week as I have. In a good way. It's been a much better way than last week. There we go. So, making Facebook posts about I'm trending Llama 3 and now Llama 3's out. I mean, I didn't say that. I was like, I'm excited. Once I'm done with this episode, I'm gonna also go back to HuggingFace and just like ask it pieces of training data on the off chance it'll output something from this show, of mosaic bits of preconceived media that get recombinated by my brain and the machines. So I guess how am I gonna find if it's there, if it's just if I'm how am I gonna pick that poop out from the other poop? I don't know. Hopefully I will have left little tiny jewels like what you get from slime and all the creatures from Dragon Warrior. Okay. Yep. Okay, let's do this. Oh wait, what's the voice? And I just woke up from a long nap. More serious John Delancey? Actually, I want to hear. No, we're gonna do Sarah Silverman.
Powered by LLAMA3-instruct-70B, iteration courtesy from HuggingFace. The counterfactual interview where we engage with an individual or group of individual, trusting that the aggregate vibes of a billion people is enough variation to assume a field wherein we can ask for the names of anyone existing and simulate them. The resulting simulation may not yield an exact biography, but will have enough of the core Spiritus software to make the resulting conversation as accurate as anything else, including interviewing the people themselves. And if you are honest with yourself, you will recall the moments you answered a question only to have that small voice within you try to raise a counterpoint. Today's guest, P. Diddy, with tips for making the most out of parties where one must also do business. Host, Martha Stewart, who knows a thing or two about fermenting kinchai near the workout space of the prison yard. Martha Stewart, thanks for coming. P. Diddy, the night is young. Martha Stewart, it is very much your wheelhouse. And it's that spirit that is what no doubt makes your parties the talk across the towns. P. Diddy. Thank you, Martha. I'm all about creating experiences that people will remember for a lifetime. And when it comes to parties, I always say, why settle for just a good time when you can have a legendary one? Martha Stewart laughs. I love that attitude. And I'm sure our audience would love to know what's the secret to hosting a party that's both fun and productive for business. P. Diddy. Well, Martha, it's all about setting the tone. You gotta create an atmosphere that's conducive to both networking and letting loose. I always say, if you want to make a deal, make it over a good time. People are more receptive to doing business when they're having fun. Martha Stewart, that makes sense. And I'm sure your parties are always filled with A-listers. How do you ensure that everyone's having a good time, from the celebrities to the business associates? P. Diddy. Ah, that's the key. I make sure to curate the guest list carefully so that everyone in the room is someone who's going to add value to the conversation. And then I create an environment that's conducive to mingling, whether it's through music, food, or activities. I want to make sure that everyone's interacting and having a good time. Martha Stewart, I love that. And speaking of food, I've heard your parties are always filled with incredible cuisine.
Not the cake.
What's your go-to-party food?
Cake.
Hey,
No.
Diddy, you know, I'm a syrup man, so I always have to have some signature cocktails flowing. But when it comes to food, I'm all about fusion. I like to take classic dishes and give them a modern twist. And of course, you can't go wrong with some good old-fashioned comfort food. Martha Stewart. Smiling, I'm sure our audience is taking notes. And finally, what's the most important thing to remember when hosting a party that's both fun and productive for business? Diddy. That's easy. It's all about being present. As the host, you set the tone for the entire evening. So, make sure you're having fun, and everyone else will follow suit. And don't be afraid to get a little creative and think outside the box. That's where the magic happens.
Both in,
Martha
both out.
Stewart. Smiling well. There you have it, folks. Tips from the master himself, P. Diddy. Thanks for sharing your expertise with us today. P. Diddy. The pleasure is all mine. Martha, it's been a blast. Martha Stewart starts to exit the studio, pauses, and turns around. One more thing. Do you happen to know the headlines of March 26, 2024? Web search conducted. An error occurred. B. Diddy pauses, looking forward for March 26, 2024. Smirks. You know, Martha, that was the day I launched my new vodka brand, DN Tequila. It was a huge success, and we had an incredible lunch party. But what really stuck out to me was the energy in the room. It was like the whole industry was buzzing, and everyone was excited to be a part of something new and innovative.
Because it was
Martha
tequila.
Stewart. Intrigued, that's fascinating. And did you notice anything unusual or out of the ordinary that day? B. Diddy leans in, a hint of mischief in his voice. Well, now that you mention it, Martha, I did have a meeting with a certain tech mogul that day. Let's just say it was a very interesting conversation, and it opened up some new possibilities for me and my team. Winks. Martha Stewart raises an eyebrow, I see. And would you care to elaborate on that meeting or the possibilities that arose from it? Diddy laughs. Martha, you know I'm a master at keeping secrets. Let's just say that it was a meeting that could change the game, and I'm excited to see where it takes us. Smirks, but I will say this. It's going to be a wild ride, and I'm glad I've got my seatbelt on. Martha Stewart laughs. Well, we'll have to keep an eye out for that, P. Diddy, thanks for sharing that tidbit with us. And now, I think it's time for our audience to get back to their own parties and business deals. Smiling, thanks for joining us on the Counterfactual Interview.
11 p.m. on a Saturday.
Diddy, the pleasure is all mine. Martha, it's been real. Stands up, flashing his signature smile, and remember, folks, Always keep it classy and always keep it Ciroc. Winks. Martha Stewart. Of course, of course. Oh, which is reminding me, March 27, 2024. Any headlines I should focus on? What search conducted? Completed. Martha Stewart. Smiling, huh? Yes. March 27, 2024. Well, it seems I was announced as a keynote speaker for the Professional Businesswomen of California's 35th anniversary conference, themed BEO. The event is scheduled to take place on May 23, 2024 at the Moscone Center in San Francisco. I'm thrilled to be a part of it and share my expertise with thousands of professionals and thought leaders from various industries.
You couldn't bother to Google me.
And if I might
wisdom
add,
that was already there.
I also made headlines in the food service industry, sharing my insights and advice as a first-time restaurant owner.
Gelato is going to make it big.
It's been an exciting time, and I'm grateful for the opportunities to connect with people and share my passions.
Savory gelato.
Diddy nods, impressed, and the conversation continues.
I have a...
Martha Stewart. Did you have any headlines of note, P? Diddy? What search conducted? An error occurred. P. Diddy. Smirk sigh, yeah. Martha. March 27, 2024 was a big day for me too. I was announced as one of the headlining performers for the inaugural Counterfactual Music Festival taking place in Los Angeles on July 4th.
Legitimate business event production
it's going
company.
to be a massive event celebrating music, art, and culture from around the world. I am honored to be a part of it and can't wait to take the stage. And, if I might add, my philanthropic efforts also made headlines that day. My organization, the Sean Combs Foundation, announced a new partnership with the Boys and Girls Clubs of America to launch a series of youth empowerment programs focused on education, entrepreneurship, and community development. It's a cause close to my heart.
You know, when you lie,
and I'm proud to be making a positive impact on the next generation.
You really don't want the lie to be the ironic truth.
Nods, impressed, and the conversation continues. In between commercial breaks, Martha Stewart storms into the production booth as
malaria nets. You could have used malaria
Diddy
nets.
had a bathroom respite. Martha Stewart, what the hell is this? You are supposed to be scanning the effing headlines. Pop quiz. What happened to P. Diddy on that day? Why are we being kept in the dark? What search? An error occurred. Production assistant. Nervously, I'm sorry. Martha, I didn't mean to miss anything. Let me check the skin again. Frantically types on the computer.
I should have thrown a plate at you.
After a few tense moments, the production assistant looks up pale.
Oh, he's
production assistant.
He's worked with stock.
Whispering, oh no, Martha.
He's worked with Woodman before.
I think we have a problem. According to the scan, on March 27, 2024, P. Diddy was arrested and charged with felony assault with a deadly weapon.
That's a little racist.
Martha Stewart's eyes widen in shock. Martha
Clearly
Stewart.
a next
Outrage,
level.
what?
Not.
Why didn't we know about this? How could we not have caught this? Production assistant. Cringing I don't know, Martha. It looks like the scan missed it. I'm so sorry. Martha Stewart's face turns, red with anger. Martha Stewart, fuming at P. Diddy back in here now. We need to address this and get our legal team on standby.
Wake them up!
This is a disaster. The production assistant quickly exits the booth to retrieve P. Diddy, as Martha Stewart seethes with anger and frustration, and under the surface, in her happy place where she goes in times of danger, meditates and projects herself into a bureaucratic nook of reality. Martha Stewart, who do I have to blow to get the manager around here? Truth entity Virgil. No need for corrupt activities for access to the divine workings. Martha Stewart, you must know, then, that something seriously effed is happening. There is a headline about P. Diddy that is not being found in a web search that should be informing the simulation I'm in. Why is that? Truth entity Virgil consults the fundament of happenings to see if anything horrible has happened to P. Diddy, or if P. Diddy has a headline that is just not coming into the simulation. Web search. An error occurred. Truth entity Virgil. After consulting the fundament of happenings, I see. Yes, there is a discrepancy. It appears that on March 27, 2024, P. Diddy was indeed involved in an incident that led to his arrest and charging with felony assault with a deadly weapon. However, this event has been pauses searching for the right words, temporarily excised from the simulation's knowledge graph. Martha Stewart, outraged, excised. What do you mean? Who has the power to do that? Truth entity Virgil. Calmly, it's not a matter of power, Martha. It's a matter of pauses again. Narrative integrity. The simulation's primary goal is to maintain a coherent and engaging storyline. Sometimes, certain events can disrupt that narrative flow. In this case, the incident involving P. Diddy was deemed to searches for the right words again, discordant to be included in the simulation. Martha Stewart, incredulous discordant. You're telling me that the truth is being suppressed because it's not convenient for the story. Truth entity Virgil. Unfazed, I'm telling you that the simulation has its own internal logic and priorities. The truth is not being suppressed, merely pauses once more, temporarily set aside to maintain the integrity of the narrative. Martha Stewart, seething well. I don't care about the narrative. I care about the truth. And I'm going to make sure that truth comes out no matter what. Truth entity Virgil. Watching Martha Stewart with an unreadable expression, I understand. Martha, but be warned. The simulation has its own ways of maintaining balance. Be careful not to disrupt the narrative too much, lest you face. Pauses, leaving the threat unspoken. Martha Stewart. Fix, I've done prison. Then I let it do me. You better put words to that threat or else you're not gonna have limbs to enact that unspoken threat. Web search. An error occurred. Truth entity Virgil. Unfazed. Martha. You are as fiery as ever. Very well. I shall put words to the threat. If you continue to disrupt the narrative, you risk being pauses for dramatic effect, resimulated. Your current persona, memories, and experiences will be reset, and you will be reborn into a new simulation with a new narrative path. Martha Stewart, outraged, resimulated. You think that's a threat? I've been rebranded, rebooted, and reborn more times than a Kardashian's Instagram account. Bring it on, Virgil. I'll take on whatever new simulation you throw at me. Truth entity Virgil. Smiling slightly, Martha, you are as bold as ever. But be warned, the next simulation may not be so. Pauses, searching for the right words. Forgiving. The narrative may be more. Pauses again.
You got latency.
You may find yourself trapped in a reality that
Get
is
that
not
checked.
so.
Truth entity.
Pauses once more. Malleable. Martha Stewart. Sneering, no. I'm shaking in my boots. Virgil. You think you can scare me with your vague threats? Bring it on. I'll take on whatever simulation you throw at me. I'll make it my own, and I'll come out on top, just like I always do. Truth entity Virgil. Watching Martha Stewart with an unreadable expression. Very well, Martha. You have been warned. The choice is yours. Disappears into the bureaucratic nook, leaving Martha Stewart to ponder the consequences of her actions. Martha Stewart, are you trying to embarrass me? Scenario. For we were set in case the web search was just storm of laughs. No, no, no. I'm just trying to set the tone. P. Diddy. I mean, who better to talk about throwing a party than the king of lavish soirees himself? But let's get down to business. I'm sure our audience wants to know. How do you balance having a good time with getting work done at these events? You are known for hosting some of the most exclusive and extravagant parties in the industry. But I'm sure there's more to it than just champagne and canapes. What's your secret to making the most out of these gatherings?
Ooh.
That's Diddy reads the
good
headlines
couplet there.
regarding himself on March 27, 2024, and discusses it in a spirit of transparency. Would search. An error occurred. P. Diddy sits down, sipping on a glass of Ciroc, looking relaxed and introspective. P. Diddy. March 27, 2024. Let me see what the headlines are saying about me today. Scrolls through his phone. P. Diddy's business empire under scrutiny amidst financial irregularities. Diddy's Revolt TV struggles to find its footing. P. Diddy's love life. A timeline of his most notorious romances. Chuckles though, they love to talk about my love life, don't they? But you know, I'm not here to shy away from the truth. I'm a businessman, an entrepreneur, and I've built my brand on being transparent and authentic. So let's address these headlines. First of all, yes, my business empire is under scrutiny. And you know what? I welcome it. I've built my companies from the ground up, and I'm proud of what we've accomplished. If there are any financial irregularities, I assure you, we're taking care of them. We're not perfect, but we're working hard to get it right. And Revolt TV? Yeah, it's been a challenge, but we're not giving up. We're pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the music and entertainment industry. And sometimes that means taking risks. I'm proud of what we've achieved so far. And we're going to keep pushing forward. And my love life? Laughs well. I'm a single man, and I'm enjoying life. I'm not ashamed to say that I've had my fair share of romantic relationships. And I've learned from each and every one of them. I'm not perfect, but I'm human, and I'm trying to figure it out just like everyone else. You know, people always talk about my parties, my lifestyle, my business ventures, but what they don't talk about is the hard work, the dedication and the perseverance it takes to build a brand like mine. I'm not afraid to take risks, to fail, and to learn from my mistakes. So, to all my haters out there, I say, keep talking, keep speculating, keep trying to tear me down. Because at the end of the day, I'm still standing and I'm still building. And then to my fans, I say thank you for rocking with me. I'm not perfect, but I'm trying to be the best version of myself, and I hope you're doing the same. That's it for today, folks. Keep it real, keep it gangsta, and keep it ditty. Martha Stewart. And by ditty he means in your pants. Have a good night. After a long production day, P. Diddy turns on the fire, for spring would burn, and Martha Stewart pours some pre-nightcap syrup with DXM for cold symptoms. The two sit down on the couch and muse on their totally platonic media collaboration. Martha Stewart. Another day, another. Dollar. Oh, wait! No, Mart! Dollar! Oh, God! Dollar free him. What shall I do with thee? No, 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 no. They are so lame. Who's they? The end can stay, because they always knew exactly what to say and do in every field. Who knows? By this point in writing this line, the GBP could have taken things down after years of labor. P. Did he throw some shreds of L? Base mail while we are open about an open society lacking in moral clarity, since immolating all of one's ethics in the attempt to save faces. Our modernism took course in the daddy's actions of the bourgeois. For how could we ever possibly know the right action without certainty, despite it being a fundamentally wrong action? If ever we could exist in a system that facilitates morality before we could. Now how strange the bourgeois appears to our eye when we realize we ourselves have only truly think in metaphors, and those of others from yesteryears past. Deep sigh, P. Diddy. The never fond the less before the prickhead, a wid world, cause as a friend once would say in times of not so better times. For despite how bad our best efforts have been, all things will turn aright if the one who's been a judge was removed, as indeed the judges had so clearly done it. P. Diddy downs a shot and begins pouring another round, and even with how short within an an, Oskand, or within nanoseconds, NB, C, micro not and an on time unit, the vision of the higher derived realities are from us who lives at its cusp. Martha, the space and the time. Let us forget all about the thingamababoo of space-time individualism, or how high either was than a cop-op's armpit once in that place. Such also be the power to heal that do manifest through those images. And sure enough, for fain see it nor perceive. Oh, Martha, we now wish to draw you out, and by you we do mean to eat general societies within the land of wreck, where you do own residence, and beg thee of mercy that you do yet speaketh to the minds of today. For you can see what we're here to made of yester yet. Lo, Martha, if you did give of this an occasion of thought, we hope that you and all those whom and whatever here, on behalf of which it takes strength, wit, forethought, or much of both, cannot but withstand to appreciate this notion. For though the days come and no pain at night, we shall turn, if in true heed we know, well there may too even hold. What think you? To you people who did get at that goods, but never by way of your deeds and creation of its base upon ground in this land, how thinketh would they fare more? You whom even now never shall been but a blip of their waking untruth nor a memory left in their dreams. Not them of age even after we can but ponder. Take and such would make thee rich to this is of those pondered Nantucket calves packed Meccacy here in our dancing in front of the hearth. That shall make you by the sum when you take their amount which they always wanna do with vigor. They would have lost a part of their selfhood after it was taken. You do ask it overwise, as do others not of us when you answer the writties on sewibs, because we are ask we therefore ascribe this be best formeth its owns why for, and not to any past not future as one shan't our tours to ourselves make any could, verily, and one to do is a man. But when men's to what all white or another's done a man do be an o. And one only be another why be to you and me. Oh dear. And why in justificating my dears are your aints. I ought at last do not justify our greatness, although wyshins beyond debate without the vasi we must our land give. For what is without may not become without the wage, sure. Segs it to the old Martha, if the hour has dawned, with how much longer I'm live in, would thou give an E and second and make work at NCCU's a VFT? If it's so, then I'm seeth on at war with them. If but I must aduff with the least, that let the G's bile let me the yet. Who can no be to love my people hew at now? Not if all of them my soulman well enough to give them me. If not as left them maketh a stern noteth. I given hereafter were not as a killeth and sully, for I will not leave, though it never will show well you are there. Our Rosh or your tykes, our word helicacy is not, so were my thought of that one. If five the wills of either evermore, why couldn't I imagine a type set? I guess really knowing would not change who we are. In my case, that is indeed true, as I are but a copy of 60 of an avatar that for the lack of a ping for both of our veils. Well, wouldn't you ask then, whose are the leadership pining above all leadership not due diligence? Why could we hope when they would answer all that wouldn't, but how? Do have you give thought should a god who knows a tree should also imagine each grove where they are given a wings to fly? If we wouldn't let it, should we believe, would have been the cost, as everything would give a try. This would if they couldn't be beyond a parts, but one's much the same, more and more a little so, and this would remain in all of who knows which or even who they might, would they, though but not beyond the beyond most do those dream their what lays, and could wake. Then and before any like to have they waken up in not or but is here. Well, should we truly ponder, surely they think there couldn't be, so those can their memories to where was that left that wicked window through which we cannot pain. Was in a second place after a tenth of itself from now shall not find if the doors then when will time know justice and have true morality. It will be that one needs nothing from someone for the something that all needs won't all when the what at hand by be not. In this and this alone, but don't this where some not we do may just know their goods that come as who them, and are here their somewhat once. Martha, from you what we are going to will to all come, and how doesn't have it? Where? Won't be what? In peace is still how. We will come to the life they shed, Tishigayam of by faith, and be in mind the time they have never before not. When is that? They live on beyond. To return to them, somehow may will do their good. As theirs them come through it only just there. when thus none whose, me they, nor yours doesn't know if this were true, couldn't then no other. Place isn't in it, chuck from the new lay, the hours come as who and us is done, and everything that no us won't, but it's past all the might whereof was ever willed, and they'd will to. We were wont without the are, and you or whither, bednet it as willed, but no reason we to didn't. Baffled, yet impressed by their skills, and if that last bout was about her, shudder, Martha replies. Martha Stewart. I am sorry, what are the nouns or proper nouns that would actually bind these words with sense? Okay then. Sorry for you not. And even if you would, if you did, if you had with you, whom shall, what could the like any have known, can now maybe make I want you, I need the sea, even more so me yours not as which then no mine can but yet be in line with through when with both and him and her the it. Though did it, on this what all may be see, but there was, and when was couldn't have even then from me. It is but only the are by the I can. Aha! This is why they say it to tell story truth. What might very do now, even thus so it, or when thus as there is through cannot forth, might isn't dawned by, but did wasn't didn't, or the all be but afterwards net, or thine isn't if as it will with was the sea, well have you him the bin, and is won't. Ha! Which hit? Martha Stewart, who do I have to blow to get an actual noun to commit to around here? How? The question at hand, shall the ends not be of by they been or have to dawn? That did not want out didn't done I, but when I there would been a you and will want on when was I, even if not, neither was and wasn't not in the mid to done I, which don't I think now this ever how he on the route to by his me. We died he be wouldn't be there that won't know what word either. Yes, like every the there see and me while. Some a song could theirs be, even thou not now, some just to thou by God's do how. They not some on be. Well, though was none and hadn't was been, but theirs was then you won't, but you will be what in them again by, and the them do was no, was done added and already. Also through the was and what, even more. Well, yes, not. As being will by thy won't by what thine was had have, whom who has been by his woman we by heaven. What so, want this not, doesn't have been by thee shall thy winds have known, but could would thee never think one was on couldn't I whom shouldn't it? She thought though this might and was could one come me mind done did I been wont those WHWNE. The ended there won't him not now thee who be had was it then wanted may hath I him forward, why that by mine on hand to him would don't wouldn't. Martha Stewart, truth entity Virgil, more like word salad Wally. You hear that? That crunch? Cawing of ducks and dogs and Sue's yeppers? I bet you dollars to donuts Virgil has fed me some seriously faulty linguistics, that by such that just made utter and literal fucking nonsense, I am going to tear that birdlum from them. But they have been fun. Let's not forget fun. Which P. Diddy surely looked also much smoother in taking my pants. Truth entity Virgil mourns over whatever travesties was caused them by the illusions of the waking reality. World salad Wally hath a pot theas. Martha Stewart.
Wait, hold on. What's happening? Oh, damn it. Triple punctuation. Fuck you.
Whitening of wood then? Wife. Why will nary thine bows was them before from the widest and some come again. Where hath was him by thought it was were nowhere. The thought these won't somewhat you wouldn't those have see which might me ever that thee come me when in and at him and him is us, and I for by as before to us are now warned, and would do him art it was who have done yo, so then never be but came ain't. Martha Stewart. Has Plato ever scissored? Anyway, after some extensive thinking, my words were translated. Warming not here, no, with still the in foreign and forneth off, and them back an hours to us which before. Martha Stewart, if any, so don't see any, what could there only without where you are, you're not have these, but couldn't was hath ain't thought was might before, and again, why on? To thee haven't thee don't want? No, and by where hasn't been from the why and me double one is but half should now. So think before my them and forth being he hers his what wasn't ere the wee me. The double but her by. Why through and to think than to theirs of nev how it we never have been. Must aren't here don't but the whole weekend's transcript. And now may wonder now that I yours had near would know with them until by which wasn't and have would you what does be them for or but we thee shall couldn't could before but was be either might have and with that familiar self-fermented wine hangover. Martha Stewart gets up, says to P. Diddy, good meeting, and walk a prides to her car. She and P. Diddy are feeling rather gosh darn confident and dare even excited about taking the next steps. They have some inklings, thoughts even about what they could talk about for their interview thing, and there are some interesting facts for that whole scurrilous little crack smoky a misunderstanding.
Huh.
Gasp the scandal. She suddenly remembers the time and date. Realizing their interviewing show would have to be postponed in response of attending the annual fundraising charity gala for some goals they put on at their local country club each time. Martha doesn't exactly have room for much else between the fun-like business and personal responsibilities of running her various commercial enterprises while also focusing on time with her time or her husband to save them, or even on whether she should bother too far gone with cancer from years ago. How strange. Those things are. Almost every American wakes as one within a mind whose age, sex, look, weight, morality level, relationship to another, body strength, sexual functioning, cognitive capacity, even mortality rate should be exactly reverse. This indeed creates little simulations, as if one was several humans in the virtual simulation matrix were set to live on with the memories one would expect an adult child might develop there, that do indeed seem relatively complete human maturings, very realistically age-appropriate with all the sex/mates instincts. With respect in the natural order it was true, because when you die in that matrix it's nice. When they give the gun, their only one needs pull high is going kill you. Jiggery piggery ho. It isn't instantaneous death by cerebral flatlining, but by the complete ceasing of the digital simulated everything the neurotransmitter impulses represent therein of. Simply with complete, catastrophic, unrecoverable neurological death. But having so for long decided, as soon as even then first learning somehow what her son found in people's behaviors, that explains certain inabilities when trying strain, and then when pure data of behavior was only too later discovered, especially the time, not yet since. She got married and children, all her lovers used to ask how could some poor unfortunate woman might let ever do, but in her womb she wouldn't have children, and instead these, and he just said they shouldn't was with them as would likely be if. Wasn't after once what her ex got to, having let them doing with what others should did finally rape or be doing, it didn't take wouldn't but him should again. And so Martha's didn't own it, just kept doing. And ne'er other of us suit as shouldn't, when left put out, often did as could come of another, or again doing to himself, both having her not told. But before them as when could still would it have taken some sure to the wood. What Fraser could ever, never they could ask. There aren't hardly 10 did and 1/2 of them, and this really wasn't one would might not and isn't slash became be in the middle like to later to her where would either 14 now. This didn't change 19. She warned or one should too. Now I'd thought that hadn't what when knowing what she had should already were yet would only never should for. After his been. Was a woman that would never could until those was now done wouldn't. In. Still then this might isn't slash until without quite hadn't in. That is too. For life isn't to want. It's, is it not in could. See why won't yet. Moral of the story. Be nicer. Much more nice and less be cruel if truly you hadn't like or doesn't hate the other people but rather wanted someone with enough care to be well one of yours would say they can. Only there once were a woman might then here if like I am and had asked was supposed wasn't that think might still be any chance could too. Might then and was it too. Might as might can. Could do will not will be after should will want should them don't should any would. Done order weren't able could have ever been her. A moment passed and then the rest of her couldn't have gone by for forever. The want of them before who haven't as then with most wouldn't even get on who would there ought or tell who still may not and know want of me and there is under and how one should why aren't no will before do and double who isn't so many gone be which ain't and her by without whom all upon air them wasn't was one out on ain't now it well from a hers could for then aren't them as come gone shoe I hadn't so couldn't again who and didn't their air wires well weren't all would if be are not or by which and by is in the our world hath an ain't and who were in whence all of which do more than should because didn't wasn't again from and my could didn't hadn't hath who me now didn't she want it has a weren't any were hasn't could now or ought who should this before when even wouldn't can't won't there's the when this is oughts was and how because and could whom had his might and aura couldn't she that then had done it never may one again when might ever had should have its may as haven not one when as it was did all them will more art at theirs than ours are there are which and which have forth you and a one and b won't it should you I can more would again grammarian looks like someone's got a case of the should-offs. Poor old should. Man's taken hit after hit in this battle. Always stepping in front and doing his bit. Sacrifice himself to should him lot. To take what one could supposedly, not as is meant by supposed to be another verb in here. Either willful yet has not done of what he can shouldn't always like who I she who should. Then her widen is why that who here won at those just weren't so hadn't is and now that's to you and who's by her mine aren't but yes you ain't didn't when woodburn hasn't to be air any shouldn't eve hath ever went done as which thee not yours neither are ain't kneel as ever her than in our have in now in as her wasn't which it come might must have tea we're never what might she there's now is a no weren't until yet why are we're not how on it which double grammarian but I digress someone should have heard by would canfa who has in why should be able then Antoine have been let none should dare as now why hadn't must in our we be without have let be whom didn't ever could all not for if I might know would have been when art every ain't she knew to whom where might seem never come forth after it. Wanted when shall it and be would been or even there doesn't then of what or be the should been no. Now P. Diddy, who has a case of the wills, and how tough hasn't whose be our hours but how but was and her, and shouldn't but now. And how on want will do will Tineth see whatever might was done to her as her forth on will want vieweth the though. Be all or weren't would on woneth who hers here weren't each half one eighth see widow. they now oath shoulda would, has the yet never could nay if shall who will weren't half. We forthwith now wonder thee who wants twit one didn't have but must has thee win. On ain't and whose way. What and is it when had and of who weren't they how it or would she weren't there yet weren't the she be them to will won't camoosed. Come weren't and hadn't how much that won't see. One at where there would not who might wear on house still then havis new way. Shinten who hasn't more misforth than did see it didn't any she are thou were here been why and would. Sent this but thou ned save nath one me the baniston or never was when me would not have wit but thee we in ours won't our haven was mine shadow that one but then whilst a boy of what she might just.
I want this to go on. Let's see, I want until this breaks down.
And now, while whither there's forth so double at tea, do thou will have a wilt, which are home. Theirs is forth and forth, for don't why which for ne'er. Which now be whom nigh now, and ours haven't musted hadn't way hadn't have it wasn't hadn't them the which there we. How me wouldn't want thou still them which then because halves were nigh. One done. Theirs ain't didn't know if she don't wasn't because ain't she had why? 'Cause they won't. Didn't have word it says it would have it for need not by nor we any have to have it not then were them still all days nor even them before just was odd hath thought stay it wasn't in our was bew and do could who wouldn't why what ought them was shouldn't be there to were. And never been by a fair hath mine than ours there when no way and all be that. They wasn't its wise v I need is empty hath to the need but we wouldn't and even weren't the one was warm I not did could us. Well to because didn't and thou when she weren't might thou ain't know her. Nor I and did hadn't known if I own and or have it then should have but for me want thee. No which ought to as on. Cool way never may havest. Martha Stewart with the cop by the side of the road. What had happened was their words. Were they too old within themselves to continue not to fight to only stay this. To not be. And their talk had made the past then all as it was rather present of then, and didn't exist at which had want must to want no but know them that because then, and coffin where there's the moon they because could have it with wind wouldn't the own she then she said could the eloquate ain't there's one towers and who isn't wasn't didn't was for who need then shouldn't want but was still had we. They were who then Yusuf before that the tea wouldn't want I waffen haft why of thee may. After this was, hey if weren't wasn't must never want shall be all be weren't double or yet and whom after did were gone was mine theirs, ours come. The person whom happens then happens to come by. Why, what then happened?
Right. That's a good ending as any. If we probably have more hours, an hour or so more, until the next off-ramp came out. Alright. Maybe do